We just heard from Powell yesterday. We'll be hearing from more Fed officials today, including Myron. So tell me, how concerned are you about the market liquidity as well as potential strain on the Fed funds market?
I'm very concerned about Fed funds for the simple reason that the big balance sheet policy that the Fed adopted years ago, going back to Chairman Bernanke, has taken a real toll on market function. We essentially nationalized the Fed funds market. Bill Nelson at Bank Policy Institute put out a very important piece earlier this week talking about the impending collapse of the Fed funds market. Nobody's using it. And so to use that as a policy mechanism, I think is kind of reached the end of its useful life. And the Fed has got to figure out how they are going to communicate changes in policy going forward, especially given that Fed funds is basically no longer a viable private market. It would be nice if we could reduce the amount of the Fed's balance sheet so we could get back to a market that really had some degree of private sector influence. But the interesting thing is that the Fed told us at the beginning of this year that they were going to stop shrinking the balance sheet, and they're continuing. I think you could see that through the end of the year. And again, this is tightening. So while we're talking about dropping the target for Fed funds, the Fed is essentially tightening policy with the balance sheet.